there is a 19-year-old girl, Mary Phelps Jacob, setting up to go to a debutante ball, and she is like, I got this beautiful silk dress, and I have to put this dumb piece of shit on, stupid corset with whalebone inserts. So goddamn dumb. All right, I'm out. I can't take this. Marie! Marie! Get me 2 handkerchiefs, some silk cording, ribbons, and a sewing kit. She sews together 2 handkerchiefs onto herself and goes to a ball. All the girls are like, what is going on with you, girl? You look better than you have ever looked. And she says, yeah, I just made this out of some handkerchiefs. The girls go crazy. And she's like, my boobles are free to roam. And they all say, I want one, I want one, I want one. All right, whatever, I'll make you my new thing, whatever, with some handkerchiefs. Then she gets a letter in the mail from someone she's never met saying, hey, I'll give you $1 to make me a bra. And then she realizes, oh, this could be a business. So she goes to the patent office and she said, hey, I've made this thing. It's a brassiere. The patent office guy was like, everyone's had boobs for goddamn forever. I understand that you think you made something, but you fucking didn't. And she said, no, I did. The last piece of patent flattens your tits into nothing but 1 boob. Do you want 1 boob? And he's like, I don't even know if I can answer this. No, you want 2 fucking boobs. They separate and lift. Give me the patent for the backless brassiere. And he says, yeah, okay, all right. I've never seen that. I will give you a patent. Slam. He gives her a patent. Oh God, I'm not gonna throw up, but I'm pretty gonzo bonzo. So she opens the Fashion Form brassiere company. Meanwhile, she marries this guy, Harry Crosby, and Harry says, hey, babe, because you're gonna be my wife, Crosby, I feel like you should have a C name. So it's like C. Crosby. I would really like it if you change your name to Clitoris. It's fucking true. And she says, what? No, I'm not gonna change my name to Clitoris. And he's like, no, it's with a Y. Still, I'm sorry. I love you, man, honey, but not even with a Y will I name myself Clitoris. What about Caress? That's better than Clitoris, certainly. He says to her, hey, Caress. She's now Caress. You're kind of bored with the bra business, and it's not taking off. I'm kind of rich. Why don't you just let it go? She says, all right, fine. She sells her patent to the Warner Brothers corset company for $1,500. She's like, I'm out, I'm good, had fun. So, wait, I have to fast forward. I also have to pee.
Which one you gonna do first?
No, I have to pee.
Okay, well then pee.
I'm gonna. In 1929, the bra took hold. Everyone bought bras. The corset was dead. The Warner Brothers Corset Company makes $15 million off of her patent alone.
It's a lot of titties.
Here's the thing about Mary Phelps Jacob. She never gave a shit. She was like, oh, okay, I sold the patent. Not gonna dwell on it. I'm gonna open a publishing company that publishes every modern writer known to man. Hemingway, James Joyce, Henry Miller, Edgar Allan Poe. There's so many more. Someone look it up on an iPhone. You'll see. Then was writing pornography for money. And she was great at it. And at the end of her life, someone asked her about like, hey, you invented something. And she said, yeah, my invention, it wouldn't take the place in history of something like the steamboat. But yeah, I invented the bra. The bra is kind of a big f***ing deal. No one gives a shit about a steamboat. Do you know anyone who doesn't have a bra?
Okay, so the story, we start in 1915, yes, in Chicago, right? And Bessie Coleman, she's 23 years old. She's a young thing. She's a manicurist in Chicago, and she is the best, hands down the best. So like, she's doing the nails of the upper crust, elite Black people in Chicago. And all the Black people are like, hey girl, hey, do my nails, girl. And she's like, okay girl, I got you. And they're like, girl. While she's there, she's reading the Chicago Defender, which is a Black-owned newspaper. She's reading about World War I and what's happening. So she's like, yo, one day I hope I get to be like a motherfucking pilot. People at the nail shop, the people are like, girl, you wildin' out. And she's like, no, I'm gonna be a fucking pilot, relax. And she says to herself, like, she's like, self, I'm not dumb. I know that I have to like train and go to school to become a pilot. So she's applying to aviation schools and she's being rejected left and right because of nothing besides the fact that she's a Black woman. She's Black and Cherokee. If this was a drink of haterade, their glass was full and they were like, hating. That was them. And she's like, yo, fuck each and every one of you. And she's like, fine, like whatever, like you said no, but I'm gonna keep saving my money. And so then she meets Robert S. Abbott, and he is the owner, turns out to be, of the the Chicago Defender. Then he's like, hey girl, and she's like, I love your paper. Your paper inspired me to even want to be a fucking pilot. Oh, I really want to fly. However, I'm having trouble getting into aviation school in America. America is not having me because I'm Black and I'm a woman.
Yeah.
Excuse me? And so Robert's like, yo, you're wilding out if you think you're gonna be a pilot in America right now, because it's not gonna happen. And he was like, my advice to you would be to go to Europe, go to France, you'd have a better chance there. And he was like, if you go there, I'm gonna also sell some papers talking about you in my paper. If you go and really do this, I will not only pay for you to get to France, bitch, I will pay for your entire schooling. Boom. So she was like, fantastical. So she took him up on his offer and she applied and got accepted to the most elite French school for aviation. Bessie's like, holla at me, bitch. I'm at Cordon du Courtois. Aviation was a scary thing back in the day. Planes were like, girl, we don't have seatbelts. Girl, we don't have seats. Girl, we don't have leather and we don't have cup holders. So Bessie was learning how to fly in France. People were flying with the assumption that they would be okay, but no security that they would be safe.
Oh, no what?
No security that they would be safe. They were like, my legs is out of the bottom, Flintstone style. They're like, meow, 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 because a lot of people died in France. Meow, 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 meow. And then they was dead. But so she's watching people die, she's stressed out, but she gets her international piloting license in 7 months, which, by the way, I will say for her, she was the first female American to get this, and it's extra explosive because she was Black. Boom.
Our story begins in the year 1963. Gloria Steinem was a graduate of Smith College. Very smart. She's 28 years old, and she's a journalist. And Show Magazine was like, hey, Gloria, we have a story for you. We want you to go undercover at one of Hugh Hefner's Playboy Clubs. And Playboy Clubs were advertising themselves at the time as like being in a real live version of Playboy. So you would have like beautiful women everywhere and drinks and food and dude stuff.
Yeah.
Boobies and vaginas. And Gloria was like, I don't think this is what I want. I want people to take me seriously. And her editor was like, I think this could be your chance to call Hugh Hefner out on his goddamn bullshit. And she was like, you're right, I'm in, let's do it. What was I talking about? So she says yes to the thing, to the assignment. And so she goes to the audition, which is at a Playboy Club. So she's this alias she's created for herself, which is Marie Catherine Oakes. And the woman that she goes up to says, take off your coat, let me see your body. Gloria was like, okay, and like took her coat off. The woman was like, you look a little old for 24, but your body's great. Come back on Saturday for a fitting. And so Gloria comes back a couple days later. She sees this woman named Cheryl Lee. She's like, I'm the bunny mother. So she goes and she gets sized. She puts on this leotard and she's like, this fits. And they're like, no, it doesn't. And they keep going in and in. And Gloria's like, I think that's tight enough, I can hardly breathe. I just had
You okay?
an ice cube just assaulted me.
You got ISIS. Sorry.
So the bunny mother, Cheryl, is explaining to the bunnies, there's all these things that they can take your money away for. Like, if your ears are on crooked, that's a demerit. If your bunny tail's dirty, that's demerits. If you're not smiling enough, that's a bunch of demerits. They also give her this bunny manual, which is a list of all the rules that you have to follow. In the bunny manual, it says you're not allowed to date any customers. But then they were told, unless they hold the special key. These special key members were allowed to do whatever they want. Ew! That's f***ed up. Anyway, so they're like, great, you're all set, you're gonna start work soon, we just need you to complete your physical. And Gloria's like, what do you mean? I'm gonna be a waitress. Oh, well, we just need you to complete a physical with this doctor, and then you'll be fine to start. That's gross.
Yeah.
That's just gross. So she goes to the doctor, she sits on the table, and she sees there's stirrups. And the doctor walks in, and the first thing he says to her is, so you wanna be a bunny, which is alarming as a doctor. He examines her, which to a woman means, you know.
Pap schmear?
Did you say pat schmear?
I've never had one.
It's not a bagel, Derek. It's a,
I'm from New York. I can't hear the pap schmear.
So she finishes the exam and she goes the next day to train for this job. That's a fancy word for you're gonna work and not get paid any money. She's training as a table bunny, and they teach her that she just has to follow the other bunny servers around. And so she's going around asking people like, hello, I'm Bunny Marie, what can I get for you? And they would say things like, yeah, girl, let me see your titties. Open it up. Which is bullshit. She's working all these shifts and she's like, in her journal, she's writing all these injustices. They're like working these long hours. They're not making any money. On top of that, it's basically a prostitution ring. And after working in the Playboy Clubs for 4 weeks, Gloria was like, this shit, I have enough in my journal. I'm gonna publish this shit, I'm out. It's just all this stupid, sexist, dumbass bullshit. She just wanted to get the out. And so she quit. And so Gloria writes an expose on these Playboy Clubs. She's like, these women were like, not making as much money as they were told they were gonna make. It's insane hours. They're being grabbed all the time. They're treated like prostitutes. They're basically being used as a tool for the male sexual revolution, but the women themselves don't get to own their sexuality. And that's shitty. So they publish the story in the magazine. So the world reads this article, and to his very tiny credit, Hugh Hefner says, wow, yeah, maybe they won't have to go to these physical exams anymore. And you know what? I'm gonna stop making them have to give so much of their money to us if they make a mistake, which is like a really cool thing that Hugh Hefner did. But also not as cool as just like always treating them that way. This article made Gloria Steinem a household name. And she went on to be this huge feminist icon. It's tough, but I swear to God, if it weren't for Gloria Steinem, I wouldn't be able to be on TV. It's very hard to be a woman that's like, I love sports.
And you have stuck to your guns ever since you started, and that is what...
You cried.
I'm sorry.
Can I get somebody else to do this?